the more you talk in a meeting, the more likely you are to get selected as the leader of a team. So we reward people who dominate the conversation, even though they are not actually better at leadership. And often they're worse because they fail to include and learn from the voices around them in the room. They're so obsessed with being the smartest person in the room that they fail to make the room smarter. I think what happens there is that we're consistently mistaking their confidence for competence. So we need to change that. The people I want to elevate into leadership roles are basically people who bring generosity and humility to the table. Generosity is about saying, I'm going to put my mission above my ego, and I'm going to try to make everybody in the room better. And humility is about saying, it's my job to know what I don't know and try to learn from every single person I work with. And I think the idea of being a lifelong learner is something we throw around a lot, but we don't take seriously. I think part of being a lifelong learner is recognizing that every person you meet is a potential teacher.
I've spent 3 decades reverse engineering the human mind to show you how you can use it, to know what somebody's thinking when they meet you, or if somebody was telling you the truth or lying. So let's do something fun. Imagine that in front of you was an invisible deck of cards. Spread them out in front of you. And I want you to reach down and imagine you just grab a card at random. Now, look at it. Look at me. Okay, close your eyes. Hold your hand out, please. Now, before you open your eyes, tell us, what was that card?
3 of diamonds.
Open your eyes. Take a look. And it's not magic. I can teach you this. And these secrets, these habits, they're applicable all throughout life. So trust me, you don't want to miss the rest of this. Because my whole job is to make you believe that I can read minds. But here is the honest truth. That's impossible. But I read people through small, minute details. For example, we're hardwired from thousands of years that if I approach you directly and with 2 eyes, it can create fear. Versus if I turn ever so slightly and approach you with 1 eye, that 1 eye is less danger. So it's all about the smallest little nuances. Like think of someone, think of their first name. I got it. 5 letters, isn't it? Tell us all, what is their first name? Jules. So this is a huge tactical advantage when you ask your boss for a raise or when you ask someone out on a date, and I'll explain what to do, as well as how you form habits, eliminating that fear of rejection, and also the fast track for confidence. But the next thing is how to improve your memory, which is a huge secret to success. And I have a tip. I've repurposed the instructions on a shampoo bottle, and the first step is what 95% of us do wrong. So
You want to have a child. This doctor says you'll have a better chance if you're healthy. You leave there that day. You must also have it in the back of your mind that people are paying you millions and millions and millions of dollars. I think around that time that year, you made like $20 million in movies or whatever. They're paying you because you fit this persona that they want.
Yeah.
So
as soon as I started telling people in my team about this, they're like, oh, no. Why would you want to lose weight? Like that? No, I wouldn't. If I was you, I wouldn't do that. Because then you lose your multi-million-dollar pigeonhole that you've so successfully created. And look at all the work you've done to get that. And now you're just going to throw it away? So I was then literally like, okay, what do I do with my life? Am I get healthy, but I lose my career? Or do I just stay the way I am and maybe never have a child? And like that was literally kind of how it was positioned to me. And so even though literally everyone around me pretty much said, stay as you are, I just felt like, nah, I gotta, I think I know deep down that I'm engaging in unhealthy behaviors and I'm going to work on my health and try to have a child, thinking at that point, I know it sounds simplistic, but thinking that my career could be over then. But I was like, nah, that's too important.
Women get bored with monogamy much sooner than men.
Really?
Yes.
That's not what men think.
No, men think she's not interested in sex. And what they should probably replace it with is that she's not interested in the sex she's going to have. In order to want sex, it needs to be sex that is worth wanting. For women to remain interested, it needs to be interesting. It's not about having more sex. You can have more sex and not feel much. It's about making it more alive and vibrant. That is what much of my work is about, is cultivating the eroticism and the aliveness in relationships.
If you have sex more often and your partner enjoys it, your brain goes on a subconscious level, well, you know what, it can't be that bad because he's having sex with me or she's having sex with me, whoever's having sex with you, they're enjoying it. And so your brain starts to make sense of it all and go, okay, right, I'm obviously not as undesirable as I think. And it starts to sort of become better and more able to be dealt with. So the more you have sex, the better, because it gives you confidence. And the better lover you think you are, the less you worry about what you look like in bed. We all know that. Sexually confident women win all the time. And sexually confident women put on weight the same way other people do as they get on in life, etc., etc. You know, their bodies are different after pregnancy, but they don't focus on that. They're like, hey, I'm a brilliant lover. Who cares? You know, he's not looking at that. He's just thinking how fantastic I am.
This almost killed me, and it's killed hundreds and thousands of women. If men's dicks were falling off, there would be a resolution tomorrow. Until something's done, I won't quit.
Lauren Wasser.
Model, activist, and survivor of one of the deadliest diseases
Caused by a product millions of women use today.
I'm the girl with the gold leg.
Lauren, October the 3rd, 2012. Can you take me to that day?
It was just on my period. It was super heavy, and I guess I must have passed out. They found me face down on my bedroom floor. Toxic shock syndrome caused by a tampon, and I was 10 minutes from death. I had 2 heart attacks. My kidneys, my organs were failing. My feet were turning black. So when I finally woke up, they needed to amputate my right leg or I was gonna die. But they're telling me that we cannot give you any pain medicine. I have felt every single thing that was done to me. For those 8 months, I was alone. Every day, I was throwing shit, screaming, crying, wanting to think about ways I could kill myself. But there was something in my soul. It was like, don't pull the trigger. Just hold on.
Are you feeling a sense of injustice?
This shouldn't have fucking happened, but there's nothing on the market for women that is safe for us. It kills us. This is my new beginning.
What can be done?
That's the scary part.
The best way to learn if somebody's lying to you is learning their benchmarks. Meeting somebody one time, it's very hard to know things about them. You can't really gauge who they are as a person. But how many people in your life do you meet once? Few. Most of the people you meet often. Have you ever been lie detector machined?
Never.
So the way they work is they have to ask you questions beforehand to set your benchmarks. Tell me an honest answer. Is your name Stephen Bartlett? Yes. They look at your indicators to see what honesty looks like. Tell me a lie. And now they try to compare the two to each other. So what I do when I watch people and observe is I try to see what do they look like when they're telling me the truth. When somebody tells you a story, how many details do they insert? What's their cadence? How do they speak? What do they do when they lie versus what do they do when they tell the truth? And then start to trust your instincts more. I think that when we were growing up, most of us had much better BS detection systems. When you're 2, 3, 4, you know if your sibling's lying to you. You know if people are lying to you very well. You're kind of very young and there's an instinct involved. People always ask me, are you doing this in every moment of your life? No, it's tiring. I'm focused, hyper-focused on what you're doing and the things that I'm watching that will give away certain elements. You can tell when people are lying more often than not if you observe them often.
Gen Z is the first generation to believe in utter authenticity. Like you talk to anyone Gen Z, it's like they dress how they want to dress, say what they want to say, right? And why is that? It's because they've seen their parents go through crappy relationships. It's because they've lived through a financial crisis. It's because they've lived through COVID. It's because they've seen all the utter crap that the world gives them, and they know that they have to lean on their authenticity, their feel good, their self-esteem. These are all key pieces. You know, one of the most fascinating pieces of the research that we did at Tinder is for the first time, Gen Z has broken away from what determines what will deliver a second date. Millennials, Gen X, baby boomers. You know what they would use to determine a second date? How someone looks. It's like, oh, you look good. I want the next date. Gen Z is the first generation to say, yeah, looks do matter, but you know what matters more to me? That I could feel myself, that I could be my authentic self. If I feel like I could be my authentic self with you, then this feels good. We should progress to the next level.
I'll never forget, I was laying in bed one day and I was so depressed that I just thought to myself, it'd be so much easier if I wasn't here. So much easier, just quit, just leave. And I cried myself to sleep and I woke up the next morning and it almost felt like in my dream I'd made it happen, if you know what I'm trying to say, without saying it. And I just thought, I need to stop because I cannot go on like this. And I think when I try and explain to people that I know those dark places, I've been in those dark places, they don't believe me because they see me for the person I am today. They don't see the person that fought so hard to be where I am today, mentally. Not even about the success, the businesses, mentally. That's the most important thing up here. This is the most important thing. You can have all the money in the world, all the businesses in the world. You can have 300 employees, multiple companies. Who gives a fuck about that if you up here are so not okay?
Just have little bite-sized bits of sex. Sex doesn't have to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Like, have a big snogging session. Have a thing where he gives you oral, you don't do any, give nothing back. Just do something sensual together. You have a bath together. That counts as sex. People think sex has to have intercourse in there. It doesn't. It's the least favourite bit for women. Take the intercourse out. Start doing little bite-sized stuff to reconnect sexually.
A few years ago, I got asked to give a speech at Bill Gates' summit. The slot that they had given me was between Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. And it was the only speech that anyone was giving. It was a summit of Fortune 100 CEOs. So you can imagine who was in the room. And I remember them saying, this is a really hard speaking slot, Rashma, because most people are really intimidated because Bill and Warren are sitting in the front row and it can be a little scary. And I remember as I was sitting there in the backstage, they had given me 10 minutes to speak. And I remember thinking, man, I wish they gave me 12 because I really had some more stuff to say. And then I remember thinking, how did I become this woman when I used to be that girl? And I remember thinking, yeah, it's because I've been in every single powerful room. I've met every single CEO, every president, every prime minister. And when I meet them, I'm like, you're running what? Me and my girls, we can run circles around you. And I realized that it's never been about whether we're qualified, whether we're prepared, whether we're ready, that we've really never really dissected all of the undeserved, unearned privilege that so many people have, and that we have literally bought and been fed basically this propaganda that we're not good enough, that we're not smart enough, that we don't belong. And the real resistance in this moment is saying no more. I'm not reading those books. I'm not taking those courses. I'm not taking that class. I'm not buying into that bullshit. I'm here and I can lead too.
It's been a game changer to just ask the person that I'm dating or my current partner to be like, how do you like to be loved? How do you like to receive love? And how do you like to give it? Because just those simple questions can change so much. And then you can use the same with sex. What do you like and what do you not like? What have you changed your mind about? What do you like to do now and again, or maybe not so much sometimes? How much time do you need? How does your arousal actually work? These are questions that you can just start to ask yourself before introducing them to someone else, but they can change so much, because I think we get into relationships and make so many assumptions based on our individual experiences and our worldview, and we expect the person we're with to reflect the exact same thing back to us, but we don't ask questions. When someone is trying to get close to me, I will immediately start to feel suffocated. I'll start to feel like I need to find something wrong with you so that you don't get too close, even if I want you to get close. But it's because there's a part of me doesn't want to be vulnerable, because vulnerability in that area means being exposed. It means being raw. I think to put it very simply, I think it's a feeling of, if you really get to know me, you might abandon me. And I think this is not something that's even, on a conscious level, because I have a strong sense of self. I know who I am, etc., etc. But I think there is still those sort of traces from childhood, from everything that I've experienced in my life, that are those remnants of that have that voice that say, if I really let you in, and you actually get to know me, you might abandon me. So what I need to do, I need to find a way to get in there first and abandon you before you abandon me.